when are you hoping to get the results from this review? Do you have any word on that?
Sure. Well, I mean, I think you heard of the questions. We don't totally know what the timelines are. Next for us is to go through all the research, the numerous documents, the agrology reports that our colleagues down in North Dakota have got done, and the water quality reports, and try to assemble all that information, write up a summary, send it to the board so they have more information. They can do a fulsome, thorough review. They have everything before them, and we did hear today that, you know, the company that's proposing these areas already offered them a tour of their facilities, so we need to make sure that the opposite perspective is also put before this board. And then we have to wait for them to do their work, to do their research, and to write a study. You know, we are trying to make chances to engage with those in the commission here today, so I don't know what the timeline for their study is, and I think today they said the same thing. I don't think they know themselves. It will be, you know, to be fair, large studies like this take a lot of work, and sometimes it's hard to totally predict timelines, but hopefully we'll see a report. You know, I don't want to guess or put timelines, but hopefully we'll see some in the next couple of months or year, I would suspect, and then hopefully that report is going to guide governments on either side, right? This is an international commission report, and we're hoping that that's going to add awareness, that's going to add even credibility, I suppose, to the issues that we're raising, and hopefully that will get some reaction from particularly the North Dakota state government, also their Department of Environmental Quality and their water department, but also hopefully they'll, raise alarms, because there are some of these issues cross over. It's right on the border of Minnesota and North Dakota, so it has impacts even on Minnesotan cities on the other side of Abercrombie. So hopefully, it gets the Minnesota government's attention. It continues to get Manitoba's attention, on this issue and other issues too in terms of water quality. So I think, you're optimistic of that, and think that it shows the power of strength and solidarity of people coming together and working together. When we have limited resources, but we're able to do pretty well with it.
And just to confirm, can you confirm the location of the two farms, the two dairy farms?
Sure. Some of my colleagues in North Dakota may be better, but there's one in Abercrombie, and it's right along the river between the Minnesota and North Dakota border. It's further south, and there's another one that's further north, known as the Herbert Dairy, and it's in Trail County in North Dakota. And I want a map in front of me to place it on.
I can look both of them up. So James, just for those who aren't aware, I know we kind of spoke about this in the late summer, early fall when I first covered this, but for those, just in very simple terms, what are the potential impacts from these two dairy farms if they move forward and end up?
Very simple terms: toxic algae blooms that kill the fish in the lake, can be toxic to your pets drinking them. Lower values of your cottages, your owners, less fish, impacting those that particularly indigenous people that rely on the lake for harvesting and gathering. And basically, so that's really what we're looking at here in Manitoba. I think the commission actually put it directly in their slideshow. I think they had a good summary bullet point of that. Those are what people are looking at, and the concern is the additional nutrients that these products are almost certainly going to lead to, and the impacts that they're then going to have further down the watershed, and in Lake Winnipeg in particular, I think, but all along the watershed, to be fair, and even going further south of the border for the folks in North Dakota. I think it's important to also hear about their concerns. I'm a farm boy myself, and hearing these farmers talk about if they lose, one of the challenges they're facing with Abercrombie is they're going to take the groundwater from deeper down, from the bottom of the wells, which means that a lot of people that have existing wells might lose their well, which means that the entire farm they spent their life trying to create, trying to save, effectively becomes valueless or loses a significant value, because you need water access for that land to be useful. So these are people that have learned their entire livelihood. Like, coming from our family, I understand that, and many in Manitoba understand that you spend your life not making very much money trying to hold on to that land, and that's your retirement. And these people are facing loss of that, loss of their access to groundwater, and then also, their own local contamination, air quality concerns, a variety of concerns. So it impacts the local people too. Obviously I'm talking about the impacts in Manitoba, but I sometimes think it's important that we realize, we think about it the same way. What many of our colleagues have said, for Minnesotans love their lakes too, so when we talk about Lake Winnipeg, they get it, because they want it, they love their lakes and their escapes that way. So I think the same way as a prairie province, an agricultural province, we also see those impacts. So it's, I think that's a really important factor, if that makes sense to you. That's sort of that understanding that international, that we're all in this together. The impacts are a little bit different, but how do we come together on a watershed approach to try to fix these problems?
And just before I end, can you give me some of those colorful numbers about how many cows, how much feces is going to be collected between these two farms?
Sure. I mean, so we're talking two operations. One of them, Heerberg, is 25,000 dairy animals. The other one is Abercrombie is 12,500 dairy animals. So that's about 37,500 dairy animals. To put that into context, over about 400 farms, Manitoba has 40,000 dairy animals. All of them spread out in much smaller operations, averaging about 300 or 400 animals each. So that's the difference, is the massive concentration. That massive concentration is the amount, is equivalent to the sewage system size of Ottawa, almost 1.5 million people of the sewage system. So that's the amount of volume of nutrients that's coming at us. And so right now, in terms of our objectives that have been set and agreed to by Canada and the United States in 2022 in terms of nutrient load objectives at the border, at the Red River, at Emerson, we're talking 69% over our target for phosphorus and 25% over our target for nitrogen.
Okay. There is the amount of phosphorus that's going to be coming into the basin because of these two dairy farms, correct?
Yes, phosphorus, nitrogen as well as antibiotics, hormones, E. coli. So various nutrient loads, but phosphorus in particular, if we're talking about toxic algal blooms in Lake Winnipeg, is particularly the focus of, in terms of the leading factor contributing to those. Although I will say nitrogen also has some contributions as well to particular strains of algae, as I understand.
And the word you use is nutrient blooms? Sorry, nutrient...
algal blooms. Yeah,
okay. Phosphorus and other nutrients.
Yeah, exactly. Phosphorus and other nutrients, yeah.
So right now, my understanding is that the board is currently reviewing the two mega dairy farms in North Dakota and whether or not consideration of environmental impacts was considered. You know, this is obviously good news for you guys, but where do we stand from your perspective? Are you happy you got to go face to face there and voice your concerns?
Yeah, well, we were really happy. We were really happy with the response from the board. I mean, they've engaged with us. We tried to engage with them respectfully. We recognize they are an advisory board, but we think them issuing a report, them reviewing the evidence, adds an objective cross-border review that hopefully can raise further awareness on this. We do need action from, governments, particularly the government of North Dakota, but also the federal governments of both Canada and the United States. We'll say that some of these actions, I think, are a result of our meeting with Minister Moyes back in June of the previous year, 2025. So we'll give Manitoba some credit for initiating this and pushing this, and the International Joint Commission and the International Red River Watershed board underneath them. But so we're going to get a review of the permits. Do they adequately consider the environmental impacts, and also a review of the overall cumulative impacts of nutrient loading in the watershed. So we think there's value in that, and we thank the board for engaging in that. We thought it was valuable to be here to get those in-person, face-to-face meetings, because sometimes an email is a little bit impersonal. So we're encouraged by that, although we have a long ways to go, right? As it stands right now, these projects still are permitted and moving forward in North Dakota, so the threats are still there. So although we're happy with some of our success, we do know, we know we can't stop right now. We know that the work just continues, and there's a lot more work to do, and there's a lot more connecting and growing our coalition. Even today, as speaking to a number of people, we continue to grow that coalition so that we can have the best chance to unite as citizens of this planet who are on the same watershed, but also to sort of add that strength and solidarity in numbers, and hopefully, honestly, we want to stop these projects.